Obi Wan Kenobi is created by Deborah Chow and stars Ewan McGregor, Moses Ingram, and Vivian Lila Blair. While in hiding after the loss of the Clone Wars, Obi-Wan Kenobi must protect the Skywalker children from the eyes of the Empire, the wrath of the Inquisitors, and the fury of Darth Vader. It pretty much goes without saying that being a Star Wars fan, I am a huge fan of the character of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I grew up with the prequels, I grew up with Clone Wars. Hell, going back to the prequels, Revenge of the Sith is one of my favorite movies of all time. So seeing all of the hype around Obi-Wan Kenobi getting his own series, I was part of that hype. I was into this idea day one, and even though I'm pretty sure most people have been back and forth about whether this season was good, in my opinion, I loved Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 1. I thought it was so good. It has its flaws, but overall, so good. As I clued in earlier, probably my favorite part about this series is not just seeing Obi-Wan Kenobi again, but seeing Obi-Wan Kenobi again as played by Ewan McGregor. McGregor slips right back into the role of Kenobi as if he never left. All of the usual Obi-Wan mannerisms, the way he speaks. If you watched the prequel trilogy and then watched this series immediately after, apart from the aging of McGregor, you would never suspect 17 years have passed since his last appearance. And it also helps that the character of Obi-Wan feels just as natural as Ewan McGregor slipping right back into the role. This feels like the natural, more pessimistic regression that would follow the events of Revenge of the Sith for Obi-Wan's character. And the way that he interacts with all of the other characters is also so good, as all of them have chemistry with each other, and they all give great performances in their own right. While everyone does great in the series, there are three main actors that really stood out to me personally. One of them is Moses Ingram as, I'm pretty sure, the third sister? Reva's her actual name, so I'm just going to call her Reva. Look, just being nice to her. It's not her fault that the first couple of episodes mainly just focus on her being a generic bad guy. The performance that she gave was the best performance that she could give with that material. It's not until the latter half of the season where her character is a bit more fleshed out, and so she's allowed to be more fleshed out as an actress. In terms of that, she did great in the role. And then you have Vivian Lyra Blair as a character who I won't spoil who she is because, to be fair to all of the trailers, they never spoiled that. But she did fantastic in the role, delivering a performance that is far beyond her years, is extremely witty, and has fantastic chemistry with McGregor. I loved her in this role, and I do really want to see her in the same role later on down the line. I really hope she doesn't get Jake Lloyded for this role because she did really well. And then you have Hayden Christensen returning as Darth Vader. I'm a Vader fanboy, I'm a prequel fanboy, so obviously, yes. It pretty much goes without saying, but Vader is awesome in this show. His domineering presence, his fury, his determination to hunt down Kenobi. It's everything you'd want to see with Vader in an Obi-Wan show. James Earl Jones is fantastic as the returning voice of Vader. Hayden Christensen is terrifying as the body of the Sith. And the drama and tension when Obi-Wan and Vader eventually do meet up. It's all palpable, it's all tense, and it really does get the blood flowing. Not to mention your usual stuff with Star Wars, like the visuals are obviously fantastic and the action sequences are really good. Not just from a choreography perspective, but also from just a story and character perspective. There's a lot of drama put into these fight sequences, and you can feel every bit of it. But with that said, again, it's not a flawless series, and I do think the biggest problem with the show is just how rushed it is. Most of the time, we're going from place to place with not much time to breathe, which wouldn't be bad if we were focusing on just a couple characters. But here we are focusing on a ton, especially this pre-rebellion sort of organization that is an interesting concept, but desperately needed more time to flesh out all of the characters in it that we're supposed to care about. I didn't care about a single person in this organization to the point where I can't even remember a single one of their names. And as much as I wanted to defend Ingram's performance of Reva as a character is not the best that Star Wars has ever given us. Throughout the first half of the season, she's pretty much just an annoyingly ambitious bad guy with not much motivation to her name. And even though by the second half she gets more fleshed out, by that point, she's pretty much left her footnote on the audience as just a sort of annoying character. Nothing that's the fault with the actress, just the fault with the writing. To the point where if we're in a storyline that's bouncing from Obi-Wan's story to Reva's story, I always find myself getting annoyed and just bored whenever we went to her storylines. But with that said, those are really my biggest flaws with the series because overall, I did have fun with it. The 6-episode runtime does make the end product feel too rushed to the point where almost all of the new characters suffer from it, but overall, it's still really entertaining. The acting from everyone is really good, all of the returning characters get a ton of development and motivation, the action is awesome, and the cinematography is stunning. I had some pretty high hopes for this season, and for what the trailers promised us, this is pretty much almost everything that I wanted this season to be. I'm going to give Obi Wan Kenobi Season 1 an A. Well guys, thank you so much for watching, and let me know in the comments down below, which Star Wars character do you think should get their own spin-off, whether it's a movie or a TV show? For me, make Revan canon. That's all I'm asking. Give him something. A movie trilogy, a TV series, something. Just give us Revan in canon live action. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are the best. And don't forget to click subscribe and click the bell icon down below to stay up to date on all things movie, all things TV, all things nerd.